Hey, what is up, everyone? They are back. Because as you can tell from the bottom, I'm going to be giving you a TNA review. TNA Impact Wrestling. They are back. It's been about 2 months since I reviewed TNA. I just checked the last video. I talked about TNA, and it was on November, I think it said 19th, 2014. That's the last time I actually reviewed TNA. And the reason why I stopped is because, well, what was playing on TV was just like repeats of stuff I had already talked about, so I didn't really see the point of really, going on out of my way to watch TNA. So I hadn't watched TNA. I think it was actually a little bit before Thanksgiving since I stopped watching TNA for a little bit. But they're back. I never was not a fan of TNA. It was just I didn't want to see stuff that I've already seen. I didn't want to review stuff I've already reviewed. So, yeah, the TNA reviews are back.
Go on.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, but the TNA reviews are back. So, I'm going to give you my review. And, yeah, this was actually the first TNA episode that was on Destination America because they had a new TV deal. That might have been the last TNA time I ever talked about TNA. I actually made a video talking about that. And it's a little bit different. I can't watch it in my room right now because I don't get that station. It goes from like my channel goes from like 99 to 104, so it like just misses it. But yeah. So I guess I can just start it off. They have a new logo now. I think the logo looks a little bit too new. I'm not like the hugest fan of it, but it looks okay. They have, the ring looks new. I actually think that's fine. The production isn't the best. I think there's times when people will be talking where the sound will cut out. I don't know if it's just my TV that does that or if it's the product, the show itself, but that's just a little bit of stuff right there. But it starts out by showing a video package of the announcement of TNA coming to Destination America. The people that it had sent a letter talking about that, and then it says, it shows like the superstars like James Storm and his group, the Revolution, which consists of Abyss, the Great Sonata, and Manic, and they talk about how it's going to be a revolution in 2015. It showed MVP's group, MVP, Kenny Kin, and Lashley. And Kenny Kin, MVP was like, we're going to destroy people in 2015. MVP said this, and Kenny Kin actually had like a girl around his arms as he was saying this. And then Bobby Roode said this is going to be an epic year in 2015. And then like all the superstars are like having a face-off. And Kenny Kin takes a cheap shot at Roode, and then it just breaks out into this big brawl. At first, I thought this was part of the video package, but this was live, and this big brawl breaks out between pretty much everybody in the TNA, all the TNA roster. Samoa Joe was brawling with Abyss. The Hardys, Matt and Jeff, were brawling with this Japanese wrestler, Indian wrestler. I forget his name though. Bobby Roode was brawling with Kenny Kin. That was the whole brawl the whole time. Rebel was brawling with Madison Rayne, which makes no sense. Rockstar Spud was brawling with the Bromans, Jesse Goddard's, DJZ, and Robbie E. And I think that's pretty much everyone. Havoc was brawling with Gail Kim, I think. Or Taryn Terrell. I think they were brawling with both of them. And Kurt Angle, and the security's trying to break it up, and Kurt Angle says, "Stop! This is Destination America. This is TNA. We got to do this right." So he pretty much says that all the champions are going to defend their belts tonight. And then MVP gets in the ring and gets in Kurt Angle's face and says, "I'm surprised you're still the director of operations, of wrestling operations. Did you go to the crew and beg to have your job back? Because you should be fired after you dropped me, well, a few weeks ago." And he pretty much trashes Kurt Angle, saying, "You're nothing like you were from when I watched you on TV. It went from 1996, Kurt Angle wins the Olympics, to now Kurt Angle's nothing. He's just a bum. And then Kurt Angle says, this was like he resigned as the director of wrestling operations. This was his last night. He just made these matches, and he's going to make one more match. And he found out 15 minutes ago, too, that he's now back as an active wrestler on the roster. And then he says, right now he's going to make a match, him versus MVP, right now in a street fight. And then they have the street fight. It wasn't bad or anything. It really couldn't really be great because they were both. Angle was wrestling in a suit, and like they were both wrestling in like street clothes. Kurt Angle was doing German suplexes to MVP. MVP kept getting Angle in like submission moves, like an armbar, a chokehold, and MVP works on the works on the leg of Kurt Angle, and he takes a chair and hits Kurt Angle with it while it's on the steps, which looked awful. I didn't really like the way it looked. It looked fake as hell. And then Kurt Angle gets MVP in the ankle lock. He fights out. Then Kurt Angle hits the angle slam for the win. So Kurt Angle goes over. It's really about it. Nothing else. And then at backstage, I think MVP's talking with Kenny Ken, and he's asking, where were you? That's Kurt Angle up there. I needed you at my back. It was a street fight. Kenny Ken's like, I was back here with my girl. He's like, back there, and he even talks about how, Kenny Ken even talks about how, he didn't think he needed his help because Kurt Angle only has one leg, and MVP's like, well, that's still Kurt Angle. Where was Lashley? I know he has a title match, but he has to respect everything I did for him. So he's going to go talk to Lashley. You're going to find out what this is all about. I should mention, too, that tonight's TNA happened on January 7th, 2015, and the commentators were Josh Matthews and Taz. Josh Matthews is a new commentator now. I like Josh Matthews on the commentator. I don't think he's bad. I'm not really a huge Taz fan. They kicked Mike TNA off, but I think they should have kicked Taz off, but I wonder if it's something in his contract that Taz has to be doing commentary or something. Then Crazy Steve's backstage, because apparently now we find out that they can just get everything on camera now, no matter what happens. Which I think is strange. And then Ethan Carter III, EC3, come up, and Tyrus come up, and they say that they're going to take more from Rockstar Spud.
Right.
Good night. So they're going to take more from Rockstar Spud. They're going to take his entire hair. And I think he tells Tyrus to go get the target. So you got to see what happens with this. So to be honest with you, this actually came into my mind like throughout the night. Like, if Josh Matthews is doing commentary now, what's up with Mike TNA? I was gonna actually look it up after the show. But apparently, Mike TNA does something now. He's gonna host a new wrestling show called Unlocked. That's gonna come on Saturday at a different time. I forget when. On what date, but they talked about it. They might talk about it next week, and he's gonna get the info about what's going on. And then and then he interviews James Storm, talked about how this revolution's gonna take over 2015, and how he was able to influence Abyss, the Great Sonata, and Manic because they saw, they awakened themselves. And then, I remember what else. Oh, he also talked about how TNA threw all this stuff at him and he delivered, but they never gave him this big promise he was gonna, he never got anything out of it, which I thought was a good concept, which I thought was a good point. And then he says that he's not gonna tell him any more of his plans because that will give away everything. So we get the Revolution. James Storm and Abyss with Manic and Sonata, and they're defending the TNA World Tag Team titles against Eddie Edwards and Davey Richards of the Wolves. I thought this was good. The Hardys were out there. I don't really know why they were out there, but they were. I think the whatever team won over was going to feud with them next. I think it's pretty obvious which team went over. And the Wolves do 3 suicide dives on Abyss and James Storm, and they do it they do a couple double team moves onto James Storm. Abyss chokeslam, I believe Eddie Edwards on the apron, and the Wolves were wearing like this, like what looked like was skulls, like they were clawed at. And I think it was all just like face paint or something, but I don't know if they had this before, but I just noticed it now. But like I said, I haven't TNA hasn't been on for like 2 months, so it could have been on before. And James Storm and Abyss pretty much dominate. I think it was Davey Richards for a while. Then Eddie Edwards gets the hot tag. He goes off on James Storm. Actually, both the Wolves were both in the ring, and Davey Richards hit like a backstab, and then Eddie Edwards went off the top and hit a double knees to James Storm. I thought that was good. Abyss tried to go for a double choke slam onto the Wolves, and they actually got out of it in the most unique way possible. They like spun around and got out of it and hit like a double enziguri on Abyss. Eventually, Abyss hit a torture rack backbreaker on the, I think it was Eddie Edwards. I didn't really see who. No, it was Davey Richards, and then Eddie Edwards kicks him in the face. James Storm, and at one point, Abyss and James Storm hit. Abyss lifted James Storm. Abyss lifted, I think it was Eddie Edwards up, and then James Storm hit a DDT. Tried to cover him, he kicked out. Then Eddie Edwards tried to go off the top rope. Sonata and Manic interfered, and it didn't work. And then at one point, the Great Sonata and Manic tried to interfere, but the Hardys come in. Matt Hardy hits a side effect on Sonata. Jeff Hardy hits a twist of fate on Manic, and then Abyss takes out Matt Hardy, and he tries to use the bull rope, but Jeff Hardy tries to stop him. He gets pushed into Eddie Edwards, and he accidentally elbows him, and then James Storm hits the last call super kick for the win, so the Revolution retain the tag team titles. Thought the match was fine. I think there was a little bit too much interference in the match. I didn't really like that. And why were the Hardys out there in the first place? I don't know why they were even out there. So, that kind of gets the point. But I think next week we're gonna get the Wolves versus the Hardys. I'm looking forward to seeing that match because I didn't get to see it before when they had matches. So I'm glad. And there's a purpose to have that match because the Hardys cost the Wolves the tag team titles. And I think Jeff Hardy even high-fived a fan just to show that the Hardys were still face, which was still weird that they were out there. They were kind of acting like heels, and Matt Hardy looks like a grease ball now. He looks like a bum. Not going to lie. Okay, so then we got Ethan Carter III backstage, and he says, you got to watch what I do to Rockstar Spud. It was kind of nothing. He wants it done in all camera ankles. And then MVP, Kenny King, and Lashley were backstage, and MVP's like, remember who brought you here. I'm the one that did everything for you. You would be nothing if it wasn't for me. Kurt Angle wasn't going to do anything for you. You wouldn't even be champion if it wasn't for me. Then Lashley chokes him by the wall and says, I don't care about this group anymore. I just want to focus on winning the TNA World title. And if you have a problem with that, take it up with me. And, MVP walks off with Kenny King. So I think that means Kenny King's still with MVP. And then EC3 comes out to cut a promo. At first, actually, Jeremy Borash was going to have like a special guest come out, which we never found out who that was. And EC3 interrupts and says he's like the greatest wrestling king, wrestling icon, too, he said earlier in the night, ever. And people are chanting, you can't wrestle, which was cut out. And he's like, I disagree, I'm very good. I like how he kind of references that chant. And he says he's going to destroy Rockstar Spud, take everything from him. And he says, I can just snap, and with a snap of my fingers, Rockstar Spud will come out here. So he snaps him, and Tyrus had attacked him. He comes out, and Tyrus had attacked him. Spud tries to fight him off, but Tyrus slams him on the floor. And they were going to shave him, and Jeremy Borash, who's like Spud's best friend, gets in his face and says, come on, haven't you done enough? And then EC3 tells Jeremy Borash to stand down, and then Jeremy Borash slaps EC3, which the camera missed pretty much. And then Tyrus attacks Jeremy Borash, splashes him in the corner, and then they change the plans. They instead force Rockstar Spud, like Tyrus holds Rockstar Spud while EC3 shaves him, and I thought this worked. I thought this was great stuff. EC3 is like an awesome heel. I think he works under this role. and I just like this. It's awesome. Um, I think what's going to happen eventually is Rockstar Spud eventually is going to be the first one to beat EC3 because it's going to be like that underdog moment, and I think that would be awesome. Okay, so then we got um, MVP and Kenny Kim were backstage again. I kind of couldn't really hear what they were saying because they cut out the sound at the time because I don't know if it's my TV or the show, but you couldn't even hear what they were fucking saying. But I think he pretty much says that he's going to do something to get involved in the main event. Screw Lashley over with the title, so I'm going to tell you what happens. I mean, I assumed that was going to happen anyway, so. And then we get Low-Key defending the X Division Championship against Austin Aries. And they play a video clip talking about the X Division. Kurt Angle talks about how they can do a base and stuff that no one else can do, and they respect them he respects them for putting the bodies on the line, and it shows people like Christopher Daniels, AJ Styles, Suicide, who's now named Manic. Low-Key was like the main focus of it. Samoa Joe. I think they showed Kazarian probably at one point. They showed Austin Aries. They just showed like what the X Division title was like, and Low-Key says he's happy to be the X Division champion. So we get the match, and I thought the match would be a little bit better. I mean, it was pretty good, but I thought the match would be like match of the night, but it really wasn't. Low-Key, Austin Aries tries to dive on Low-Key. He kicks him in the head, and then Low-Key like hits an awesome kick to the head. Like he just hits like a side kick onto Austin Aries. That was awesome. Austin Aries ends up diving on Low-Key. He hits all his moves like the drop kick in the corner. Aries tries to go for the brainbuster, but Low-Key gets him in the movie, likes to call it the Sleeping Dragon, and I think that's what it's called. And then eventually, but Aries fights out of it. They fight on the top turnbuckle for a while. Eventually, Aries gets the better of it and hits a brainbuster for the win and becomes the new X Division champion. I was kind of shocked because Low-Key had like just won that belt. Like the last TNA, like the real show that happened. So I'm shocked they took the belt off him this early. But I'm actually fine with it because Austin Aries, anytime he has that belt, they always give him a story to have. They always give him feuds. So it feels like the X Division title actually matters when Austin Aries has it. So I'm fine with this. And then we get a TNA Knockouts Battle Royal for the Knockouts title. This was funny, just because there's people they have like no knockouts now. I mean, the knockouts that they have, I think, are Rebel, the Beautiful People, which is Velvet Sky and Angelina Love, Gail Kim, Madison Rain, Havoc, and the champion Tarantula, who was defending the belt. They only have 6 knockouts, which is pretty funny, but it actually isn't that funny if you think about it, because I bet they utilize the knockout division a hell of a lot better than the WWE utilizes their Divas division. I mean, this match actually got a pretty good amount of time. Not like 20 minutes, but it got like about 10 minutes. I mean, usually the Divas matches in the WWE gets like 2 minutes at best. So I like this. Robbie E returns. They hype him up because the Beautiful People are in a relationship with the Bromance. Well, first it was Robbie E and DJZ, and then Robbie E's back. So I guess they're gonna be in a relationship with Robbie E. Which if I was DJZ, I wouldn't be happy about this because now he's gonna get looked like as like the Geek Squad, and they're not gonna really pay as much attention to him. He's gonna be like the third wheel, so I'd be pretty pissed about this. You could lose a feud out of this. And Robbie E mentions how he was in like that race show, I forget what it's called, and he said that it's his ex-girlfriend Brooke's fault that he lost, and he says that now he's dumped her and he's with a better girl, Velvet Sky now. So we get the Battle Royal, which you have to go over the top rope. Unlike WWE, you just go through the ropes, which I think is a lot better. The Beautiful People double team, eliminate Rebel. She's nothing, so it doesn't matter. Havoc eliminates Madison Rain. I'm surprised none of them work together to get Havoc out. But I actually now what happens after the match makes sense. Taryn Terrell eliminates Velvet Sky. Um, and then there was no, and then Jesse just vanishes. Because I think Velvet's Jesse's girl. Reminds me of the song Jesse's Girl. That's just terrible. Um, trying to remember. So then it's down to Gail Kim, Taryn Terrell, Havoc, and Velvet Sky, who's pretty much just not doing anything. And Gail Kim and Taryn Terrell working together on Havoc. And then during the match, Brooke comes out, beats the crap out of Robbie E, which is pretty funny. And this causes Velvet Sky to get out. I forget who eliminated her. It was probably Gail Kim, who had earlier in the match hit eat defeat on Velvet Sky. And then Gail Kim and Havoc go at it. She's trying to do like a Hurricane Rana to Havoc over the ropes. And Taryn Terrell eliminates both of them. And retains the title. And then afterwards, Havoc beats the crap out of her. And then it went dark. I thought at first, like, the screen goes, like, the TV goes dark. It goes black. At first, I was thinking that the TNA was having production problems. But the lights come back on, and Awesome Calm's in the ring. I thought this was awesome. This was badass. I'm a huge Awesome Con. Well, I like Awesome Con. You know, when I never would watch TNA, the superstars I would know would be Awesome Con and Suicide, because I had seen Awesome Con in a match, and who could forget if once you see this chick, how could you forget her? And they have a face-off, and I think this is going to be great stuff. You know, Awesome Con and Havoc. I can't wait to see them go at it, because they're two unstoppable knockouts, and I can't wait to see this. This is going to be awesome. So then we get the main event. It was Bobby Roode defending the TNA World Heavyweight Championship against Lashley. And this match actually was pretty good. Bobby Roode, at first it's like pretty even. They're chain grappling each other. Lashley dominates Roode. He hits a suplex on him, and then Roode takes control. He gets Lashley in the crossface. He gets the ropes, and then Roode hits a dropkick. Lashley goes on the outside. Roode dives on him, and then they fight on the outside. Lashley throws Roode into the guardrail, and then Roode hits a clothesline on him. Roode gets Lashley in the ring, and then it cuts to like. I didn't like that they cut to this at first, but it made sense. It cuts to this video. I mean, it made sense anyways. It cuts to the video of MVP, Kenny Cannon. There was these two guys in masks, and the security's telling them, you can't come in here because we don't know who these guys are. We got to find out who these guys are. And MVP, they just attack them. And you can see where this is going probably. So then Lashley's dominating Roode. Roode makes a little bit of a comeback. He hits a spine buster, a block buster that Lashley kicked out of. And then he tries to go for the Roode bomb. Lashley counters and hits a power slam. Roode kicks out. And then Lashley goes for a spear. Roode hits a Roode bomb. No, Roode goes for the Roode bomb. Lashley counters. Hits a roll up. Roode kicks out. Roode hits a power bomb, which was awesome, and Lashley kicks out. Lashley hits the Roode bomb, and I actually thought that was going to be it, but Roode kicks out. Then Roode hits a spear. Lashley kicks out. Then he gets Lashley in the crossface, and his mouth had been busted open. And during this, I think MVP, Kenny King, and those two masked wrestlers came out, and this was a little bit of a distraction. Roode gets Lashley in the crossface, and you think he's going to pass out. He's putting his hand down, and then Kenny King pulls the ref out. They assault him, and Kurt Angle comes out, and he gets assaulted by these guys. And then Lashley's passed out too, and the referee's down. And then the masked wrestlers get on the apron, and we find out that the masked wrestlers are Low-Key and Samoa Joe. I'm fine with, but why is Samoa Joe with MVP? Makes no sense, kind of, because MVP pretty much, I mean, kind of cost Joe the title numerous occasions when Magnus was the champion. So I don't really get that. And then the thing that makes no sense to me is Eric Young comes out with a chair. You think he's going to help out Roode, and he hits Roode with the chair. So he's with MVP now. He turns heel. And it makes no sense because MVP attacks Eric Young first. That's who he turned heel on in the first place. So that makes no sense. and then Lashley hits a spear for the win, new champion, and I don't really know what's gonna happen with this. I think they have like no faces now. I mean, Eric Young was a face. He's a heel now. Samoa Joe's a heel now. Loki's a heel now. MVP's a heel. Kenny Kinn's a heel. The only faces I think I can come up with that they have are the Wolves, the Hardys, but they're in the tag team division right now. They have Bobby Roode and Kurt Angle. That's probably it. That's all I can really come up with that are in like the main event. Well, that are in there. I mean, I just think this is mad. That this was odd. I don't know. I think this TNA was pretty decent though. You had a solid tag team match. The main event was pretty solid with despite the chaos, and that's probably about. I don't know. I mean, it was average actually. I would say I was expecting it to be a little bit better, but it was average. The sound cut off. It was just average. It felt average too. I mean, two matches don't really impress me, But next week they're gonna be live. It says they're gonna be live, but they always say they're live, so I don't know if it's actually live. But they're gonna have new seasons, new episodes, which is which is weird you would say that because, I mean, it's a wrestling show. It's hard to take a new season seriously because it's a wrestling show. It's not like it's a TV show or anything. I mean, it is a TV show, but it's not like it's like a show like The Walking Dead, Breaking Bad, stuff like that, where it's a new season, new stuff goes on. It's the same stuff pretty much is going to be happening. But now it's going to be, TNA will start to come up every Fridays now instead. January 16th. I don't know if it's just going to be on Fridays that one time or every Friday, but I think it's going to be every Friday. But that's pretty much it, guys. You can hit the subscribe button right in the corner. Yeah, that's about it. So that's pretty much it, guys. And the news thing I gotta plug now. Actually, I mean, there's other stuff. You can add the Facebooks. I've been making a lot of statuses lately. Follow me on Twitter. You can follow me on Instagram, but I won't be posting any photos because my phone won't let me. Add me on Snapchat. Add me on Xbox Live. LessThanFan44. Subscribe to my sister's channel. She is going to be making videos throughout the year. I guess you can add Adam as a friend on Facebook as well, and add him on PS4. There's description to that. The name to that's in the description box below. And I have something new that I want you to do. If you want to play me in Trivia Crack, and I know you do, you can. I'm gonna put it in the description box, but you can play me in Trivia Crack. Actually, I actually like Trivia Crack. It's a good game. It frustrates me because I can never get any questions right. Right now, I'm beating my cousin that 5-1. I mean, she probably came back, and now it's like 5-2. If she came back and it's 5-4, this game fucking hates me. But anyhow, I did review this game yesterday too. You can check it on the Talkinator channel, which you can subscribe to. But I'm gonna get ahead of myself. That's pretty much it, guys. I'll be back for more content on this channel, and I'll see you later. Bye.